Hi, K-pop lovers. Welcome back to the channel. Before we get into this, drop a comment telling me if you caught this moment live, or if this is the first time you're seeing it, and hit subscribe because Monstiez have been passing this clip around for days now, and I promise by the end of this video you'll understand exactly why. So here's what happened. During the encore of Day 2 of BABYMONSTER's CHOOM World Tour in Seoul, held June 27th at Jamsil Indoor Stadium, a moment between Chiquita and Rora got captured on camera that's been quietly taking over fan pages ever since. A clip posted by fan account Bekno shows Rora mid-performance during the encore, mic in hand, fully in the moment. And right beside her, Chiquita drops into a low crouch, staying close, staying locked in, just being there with her while Rora carries the moment. It's a small gesture. No choreography cue required it. But it's exactly the kind of unscripted closeness that fans live for, and it's why that single clip has already pulled in over 170,000 likes, nearly 12,000 saves, and hundreds of comments in less than a week. Think about what that engagement actually means for a moment. This isn't an official YG upload with millions of views built in from the jump. This is a single fan-shot clip, filmed from the crowd, that managed to rack up those numbers organically within days simply because people kept sharing it into each other's feeds. That's the kind of spread that only happens when a clip taps into something fans are already primed to care about. And Chiquita Rora as a pairing has clearly built up exactly that kind of primed audience over time. If you've watched even a few seconds of it, you get why it hit different from a typical fancam. This wasn't a formation moment or a planned camera pan. This was two members, deep into an encore, at the very end of 3 sold-out nights in their home city, simply existing next to each other on stage the way people do when they've spent years side by side. Encores are usually where a concert loses a bit of its polish and gains something more honest instead. The members are tired, adrenaline is running high, and what comes out is less performance and more genuine feeling. That's exactly the energy fans are pointing to when they talk about why this particular clip feels different from the usual chemistry edits. There's also something about the timing of an encore specifically that makes moments like this hit harder than anything earlier in a set. By that point in the night, the choreography is essentially done, the big vocal moments have already landed, and what's left is closer to a victory lap than a performance. Members loosen up. They stop counting formations in their heads and start just reacting to whoever is next to them. That's precisely the window where fans tend to catch the most genuine interactions, because it's the one part of the show where the members are the least focused on hitting marks and the most focused on simply being present with each other and with the crowd. The Day 2 encore clip fits that pattern perfectly, and it's a big part of why it reads as so much more sincere than a highlight reel moment from earlier in the set would. The comments under the clip tell their own story. Fans have been captioning the moment with their own read on what Rora might have been feeling in that instant, with more than one comment imagining her saying something like she's exhausted but still fully present, still giving everything she has left by that point in the night. Whether or not that's exactly what was going through her head, the sentiment resonated. People aren't just watching a cute interaction, they're reading real physical exhaustion after 3 back-to-back sold-out shows and reading Chiquita's crouch beside her as quiet support in that exact moment. That combination, vulnerability plus closeness, is a much harder thing to manufacture than a planned viral moment, and fans clearly notice the difference. Scroll through the replies on that clip, and you'll notice a pattern too. It's not just comments reacting to Rora specifically, or comments reacting to Chiquita specifically. Most of them are reacting to the two of them as a unit, treating the moment as evidence of something ongoing rather than a one-off. Some fans jumped in comparing it to older clips of the pair. Others simply left comments about how the two of them always seem to end up finding each other on stage regardless of what song or segment it is. That kind of pattern recognition doesn't happen with a pairing fans only casually follow. It happens when a fanbase has spent enough time watching two specific members that they've built up a running mental highlight reel, and this clip immediately got slotted into it. It also helps that this didn't come out of nowhere. Chiquita and Rora have carried a reputation among Monstiez for a while now as one of the group's most entertaining pairs to watch. Nicknamed Chiquita Rora by fans who've spent years compiling their teasing, their laughing fits, their inside jokes that only make sense to the two of them. So when a clip like this one from the Day 2 encore starts circulating, It doesn't land as a random moment between two members. It lands as one more data point in a much longer story fans have been following, proof that whatever this dynamic is, it holds up even in the most unguarded, unplanned seconds of a 3-hour show. That longer story is part of why the reaction to this clip has felt less like a new discovery and more like a confirmation. Fans who followed Chiquita Rora content for a while already had a mental catalog of moments to compare this one against. The playful bickering, the shared looks that turn into fits of laughter, the small gestures that read as second nature rather than performance. What makes the Day 2 Encore clip stand out inside that catalog is the tone. Most of the content fans usually circulate around this pairing leans comedic, built around Chiquita teasing Rora or the two of them cracking up mid-formation. This one is quieter. There's no joke, no punchline, nothing designed to get a laugh. It's just proximity and presence, and that shift in tone is exactly what's made people sit up and pay closer attention this time around. And there's context worth knowing about what these two had already put in that night by the time the encore rolled around. Both of them had carried real weight earlier in the set during the show's solo cover segment. Rora had reached back to Havana, the same song she'd once performed years earlier as a trainee, auditioning in front of YG Entertainment's founder, a performance where she famously forgot the lyrics and broke down in tears. This time, across all 3 nights in Seoul, she sang and danced through the entire thing without a hitch, in front of a stadium full of fans screaming her name. Chiquita, meanwhile, opened her own solo segment with a silhouette dance, letting the crowd make out only her outline before revealing herself into her cover of Worth It, a moment reports from the show described as drawing audible gasps from the audience. By the time the encore hit, both of them had already proven individually just how far they'd come as performers. So, watching them lean on each other in that final stretch of the night hit even harder, because fans had just watched each of them carry a stadium solo, only to circle right back to each other the moment the pressure eased. It's worth remembering, too, what the rest of the night looked like around that solo segment. The show opened at full intensity with We Go Up, CHOOM, Batter Up and Drip performed back-to-back with barely a pause, before the members caught their breath and greeted the crowd directly. From there the set moved through Moon, Click CLAK, Sheesh and Psycho, then into the solo covers, before building back up through a run of fan favorites heading into the encore. That's a lot of ground covered in one night, physically and emotionally, for 6 members carrying a full stadium show without their 7th member, Rami, currently on hiatus. Against that backdrop, a quiet crouch beside a tired bandmate during the encore reads less like a small gesture and more like the most human moment of an otherwise massive, high-intensity production. If this is the energy CHOOM's opening leg produced, it's worth paying attention to what the rest of this tour brings as it rolls through Japan, Southeast Asia, Oceania, and eventually Europe and the Americas. This is set to be BABYMONSTER's biggest production yet, spanning at least 18 cities and close to 30 shows across 5 continents, including the group's first ever solo dome concerts later this year. Seoul was only the opening chapter. And if 3 nights in their home city were enough to produce a moment this quietly powerful, it's hard not to wonder what an entire world tour's worth of encores is going to give fans over the coming months. Moments like this one tend to multiply the longer a tour runs, and if Seoul is any indication, Monstiez are going to have plenty more reasons to fall for this pairing all over again with every new city. So let me know in the comments, did this clip show up on your feed too? And what's your favorite Chiquita Rora moment from the tour so far? Drop it below. I read every single one. And if you want more breakdowns like this as CHOOM makes its way around the world, make sure you're subscribed because we're just getting started. Annyeong!